In fact, all people that are successful can answer the 3 questions of RPM. R, what's the result you're after? Because if you focus on what you want, there's lots of ways to get there. But if you don't know what the target is, and you know all the things you have to do, you can get it all done and never hit any target at all. Secondly, once you know what you really want, you got to know why do you want it. The P stands for purpose. Purpose is power. When you know the purpose for something, the reason you're doing it, it gives you drive. And I don't care what it is you want in your life, if you can figure out why you want it, man, that is absolute drive, that is absolute power. That's the fuel to get you going. If the target is out there, the only way you're going to get it is pull back that arrow and release it. The energy that's going to push that arrow right into the target is knowing why you want something, knowing your reasons, which are different than the people around you. And once you discover what really drives you as a person, you don't have mere motivation where somebody else pumps you up. You've got something that's lasting, it's internal, it's about meeting what it is you want most in your life. And we're going to help you discover what that is, not just by writing some fancy mission statement that maybe you read once a week or once a month or once every 6 months and forget about, but by making sure everything you do each day is related to the reasons you want to do it. Because if you say, why do I have to do this? You're going to feel stressed. But if you say, here's what I'm after and here's why I want it more than anything else on earth, you'll figure out how to make it happen, which is the 3rd question. The M in RPM. What's your map? What's your massive action plan? What specific actions, what massive actions do I need to take to get the result that I'm after? The sequencing of those 3 questions is really important. Sequence determines results in life. If you do things in the wrong order, you're trying to bake a cake, and you put the right ingredients in the wrong order, you're not going to get the cake you want. You're trying to open the vault of life success and fulfillment and passion. You got all the right numbers, put them in the wrong sequence, forget it. You won't be able to open the vault. Call somebody on the phone number, know the right numbers, wrong sequence, not going to happen. In language, if I said to you, the dog bit Johnny, or Johnny bit the dog, same exact words, change the sequence, a very different experience, especially if you're Johnny, right? So you can't start out with this silly question of what do I need to do? Because if you ask that question, that's the kiss of death. You can't answer what I need to do until you first ask, what do I want? And so what we're going to do in this 10 days is have you get clear about what you want in each of these areas of your life, and then show you how to create a plan that associates you to why you want it every single day. Because sometimes people set a goal and they don't follow through. Do you know why? Because they forget why they wanted it. See, you might say, oh, I want to become rich and famous. Well, that's really wonderful. That might inspire you for a day. But if you say, I really want to become successful because with that success, I can have a larger impact on society, or with that success, I can provide my kids the greatest college education, I can travel around the world, I can do things for myself, my family, my friends that are just magnificent. When you come up with a big enough why to do something, you can figure out how to do it. But if you start out with a how do you feel? If I said to you, think right now about everything you got to do in your life right now, this week, this month, in your business and your family life to get things to the next level, I guess as you start to make that list, you'd probably feel a little bit overwhelmed. But if I said, stop, forget all that. Forget about how you're going to do it. What specifically do you want? Get riveted on it. Why do you want it? So you get so excited you can barely breathe. When you're in that state, now if I say how to do it, you go, I don't know, I'll do this and this and this, and if that doesn't work, I'll do something else. That doesn't work. I know the target. My brain's going to find a way to get there. See, RPM is not a software program. It's not some little silly binder. All those things are wonderful. But the point of the matter is it's a system of thinking that will revolutionize the way you feel, the results you get, and the amount of fulfillment you experience from it. And all it is asking these questions and then using either the software that we've got or the paper so it becomes a habit. So you have a place to do this. So it's not all being done in your head. That's the value of that particular process. But no time planner is going to change your life. A change in thinking, a change in focus, a change in questions, and a change in answers. That's what will change your life. So my goal here is really simple. I want to break you of your to-do lists once and for all, because they are the source of your stress. And having no to-do list and one in your head is not the answer either. We want to get you now to begin to master a system for managing your whole life, not just managing your time. Because think about it. If you achieved everything and you have success, but you don't have fulfillment, you got failure. Success without fulfillment is failure. We've seen all these people that achieve huge goals. They changed all the people around them, helped everybody, made lots of money, got all kinds of respect, 22 degrees, but then they killed themselves. You know famous names. We know people that maybe didn't die physically but have died emotionally years ago. They're not happy. And if you're not happy, we got to change it. And the answer is not just to manage your time more. The answer right now is to figure out what do you really want for your life. The answer is to create an RPM plan. Remember, that RPM is going to get you from where you are to where you want to go faster. It increases the power. See, remember what an RPM plan does. It increases the power you have to get from where you are now to where you want to be, just like in a race car. More RPMs, more power. What does it stand for? RPM? The R is you got to have a results-focused, P, purpose-driven, M, massive action plan. If you've got a results-focused, purpose-driven, massive action plan, an RPM plan, you're going to be focusing on what you really want. You're going to have the energy to get there and a plan that makes sense. What will immediately change the direction of your life is when you focus on what you really want in this situation. And then secondly, why do you want it? So you can find the reasons that'll drive you. And then what actions do I need to take to make that happen? The to-do list is the third question. You say, well, what are you talking about questions? What are you talking about focus? So let me clarify for a moment. Focus determines what we feel. I mean, don't you have some experiences in your life that if you really thought about them, if you went back and you focused on them, they can make you feel terrible all over again, maybe some things from your past? Don't you have some memories if you really focused on them, or something in your life right now, if you really thought about it, could make you feel really grateful or really happy? Sure, because how you feel is based on what you focus on. I'll give you a simple example. I went to a health spa not long ago, and while I was there, all these great people, a real diversity of people, and there's this one woman there who had so much energy and which seemed so happy and so playful and so warm. I remember at one point we're sitting in the spa and we're talking, and I asked her, why she came, and a lot of people are coming just because they want to get stronger, and some people have some health challenges. She goes, well, I have a bit of a health challenge. I said, well, what is it? She said, well, I have a brain tumor. And I couldn't believe it. I said, my God, I said, how are you dealing with that? She goes, well, the doctor says I have about 6 weeks to live, maybe 8. And she said, but my view is really simple. I can sit and roll over and play dead and just accept that, or I can focus on how do I really maximize every moment that I live? How do I get myself as healthy as I can be? And how do I really focus on enjoying my life? She said, because I don't think it's how long you live, it's how you live. And she said, I don't know if they know for sure. I thought, how incredible. And by the way, in the same spa was a man who just maybe 5 minutes earlier was complaining about his room and how upset he was about it because he wasn't getting enough sunlight in the room he was never in because we're all outside exercising anyway. I mean, people get upset because their super taco from Jack in the Box doesn't have enough special sauce. Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. And if you focus on what you're missing, you're going to feel like you're missing. If you focus on what you want, you're going to get what you want because our brain will move us towards whatever we focus on. For example, if you go to racing school, the first thing they teach you is you got to know how to come out of a spin. Because you're going to hit some oil, you're going to hit something you can't control, and your car is going to spin out of control. So to be a great driver, you got to know how to come out of a spin. And here's the solution, they say. Focus on where you want to go when things aren't working. And eventually you'll go there. Don't focus on what you fear. Here's what people do. The minute they get fearful and they're spinning out of control, they look at the wall. And wherever you look, you tend to drive right into it. It's kind of like maybe you've heard about or seen a situation where a person's driving their sports car, a Porsche, down a desert highway at about 100 miles an hour, and they lose control. And there's only one telephone pole every quarter of a mile. But somehow they manage to drive right into it. Why? As soon as they lose control, they go, oh, I don't want to hit that. And boom, they point right into it, and they literally strike into it. Most of us are not getting what we want because we're focused on what we don't want instead of what we do want. Now, how do we change our focus? The answer is by asking ourselves different questions. Questions control what we focus on. So if you keep saying, why does this always happen to me? You're going to come up with all kinds of reasons why your life is so messed up. If you say, how can I use this? Then all of a sudden you're going to come up with different ways to apply what you know as a human being to make things better in your life. So as I said earlier, what is the question that all time management is based upon? I don't care whether you have one of those beautiful little Palm Pilots, which is wonderful, or some other computer device, or you have a Franklin system or a Daytimer. They're all great systems. But what they have in common is they all make you manage your life by saying, what do I need to do? Now, what's the problem with asking that question? Well, the answer to what I need to do is going to be powerfully shaped by the state you're in. If someone is making a bunch of demands on you right now, things they need from you, what you're going to focus on doing is whatever will make them happy and get them off your case. If you're worried about some aspect of your life, you're going to say, what do I need to do is I got to go handle that. If you're so stressed from all the demands other people are making and all the things you're worried aren't going to work, you may say, what do I need to do is I need to take a break. You may come up with things that will give you immediate pleasure. But none of these things are really a proactive life where you're designing what you want. See, most people in life tend to focus where the demands are or where they're good at something. So for example, very often, let's say we feel really in control of our career, so we put a lot of time into our career, but we don't spend so much time in our intimate relationship. And then we go, oh, what happened? And why is it falling apart? Why am I not happy? Why am I not fulfilled? It's because wherever you put your focus, you do well. Or maybe you put a lot of focus on your family, but you don't put any focus on yourself. And you wonder why inside you feel empty and you feel drained and maybe even a little stressed, maybe even a little angry that you're taking care of everybody else but not yourself. Or maybe you're not taking care of your body because you're so focused on some other area of your life. And that comes back to bite us, doesn't it? So what this RPM life management system is going to do is help you to do two things. Number one, decide in advance what it is you want to focus on. What are the results you really want in each area of your life, in your body, in your relationships, in your business and career, in the mission of your life, what you want to contribute. And then number two, get you every single day to be focused on what it will take for you to really get the results you're after, not what is all the to-do list things that I have to get done. Because trying to focus on that to-do list will make you nuts. It won't work. It'll just make you stressed. Because as I've already said, you can accomplish everything on your to-do list and still not accomplish anything really meaningful. In fact, this is the classic example of mistaking movement for achievement. And you don't want to settle for something that isn't really achievement for your life, for your standards, for your values, for what you desire most. I mean, think about it. I see this happen with moms all the time. You know, the typical soccer mom. Here's this lady who's trying to get everything done. She's got her massive to-do list. She's got to do the shopping. She's got to get the kids ready for school, get them to school, pick them up for soccer practice, make sure everything flows, cook the dinner. And very often they come to me because they're stressed out of their mind. They're as stressed as any executive is stressed. And the reason is they're so focused on their to-do list, they've forgotten their outcome. They've forgotten what it is they really want. What they really want is to have quality time with their kids, to enjoy them and be with them as they're growing up, maybe to shape their values, to be with their spouse and have a great time. We get so caught up in getting those things done, we don't have a life anymore. I want to tell you, the most successful business people don't have a to-do list as their primary way of managing their life. They know what they got to get done, but that's not anywhere near as important as the first question they answer. What is it I really want? Hey, Bill Gates does not have a to-do list. I got news for you. If you want to know what made Bill Gates successful, it's he focused on something different than anyone else. Lots of people were in the computer business, lots of people were in the software business. But Bill Gates had a different question that he asked, so he focused on something different and he got a totally different result. His question was not, how do I build the most successful software company? The question Bill Gates made his entire focus on and got everyone around him to do the same was this. Here's our outcome. How do we become the intelligence that runs all computers in the world? That's a very different question. And ask and you shall receive if you keep asking the same question and you expect the answer, if your focus is on what you really want. And sure enough, now 95% of all computers in the world are run by Windows. I don't know if it's the best software or operating system, I should say, but it's the one that runs it all. And Bill Gates today is extremely successful in terms of his impact, also economically. He's the richest man in the world with $60 billion, I guess, in net worth at this stage. That all comes from a different focus. He didn't say, what do I need to do? He said, what's the outcome? What are we after, guys?